My name is Parker. This is my persuasive speech. This is my mom. She's me the cameraman for the day. My topic is going to be humanity being more prosperous colonizing space compared to trying to fix Earth's environment. Now, the contextual definition would be prosperous, and the contextual definition is humanity will be more flourishing on an individual scale, while on a major scale, it will ensure humanity's survival. I have 4 bits of contextual evidence and supporting data to support this. The first one's going to come from The Guardian. The Guardian did a whole article in accordance with the WWF, the World Wildlife Federation, which did a research study about how much humanity is consuming right now on Earth's surface and how much minerals and wildlife are losing. It says that we may run out of land and material by 2050, which means at that point there will be the population will be too great to sustain itself compared to the materials that we have here. Now, because of this, we'll need to go and travel in space. That means that we have a large amount of land, materials, and area to take care of compared to here. So the more population we move from here to here, from Earth to Mars, means that we'll have it'll be better for Earth because there's less people there, along with better for Mars because we'll be able to change Mars and terraform it to sustaining life. Now, the major premise is going to be flourishing life on an individual scale and also ensuring humanity's survival. The minor premise is going to be it'll be better for colonized space for many different reasons, but mainly so we can ensure humanity's survival by ensuring our minerals and land is taken care of. And also on an individual scale, there may be some advancements, and also we'll have more room to work with. Now, the second point is going to be from Michio Kaku and Maka. Michio Kaku is a famous physicist who has written many books and is highly respected in his field, and Maka is a technological article news source. Now, Michio Kaku clearly stated some technological advancements you may see with space travel. Michio Kaku said that there are 2 possible methods of technology advancements that we may be looking at. The first one is going to be infinite fuel sources. He references electromagnetic propulsion along with carbon recycling. Electromagnetic propulsion in particular is very interesting because it is self-sustaining, so infinite fuel. That means that for long periods of travel, you would need infinite fuel so you maintain the system that operates functions. So eventually, if you had, let's say, oil or carbon-based fuel like we have right now, we would run out of fuel eventually. But with electromagnetic propulsion, we wouldn't run out of fuel ever. It's self-sustaining. And then possible immortality. He says immortality would be very useful on the sense of a space travel scale, because for space travel, you'd have to have some crew to man the cruise ship for hundreds of millions of light years, potentially. So you need a long-lasting body of people to control that. So how would you do that? He references CRISPR. CRISPR is a genetic editing tool managed by UCLA, which was developed to treat some diseases. But it also may have the key to immortality through changing DNA and genomes, which recycles old DNA, so that means you technically never get older, along with possibly downloading our consciousness into a chip and inserting into a cyborg, which has some ethical dilemmas, but it still would help the cause. This would all be needed to actually ensure space travel and could be more funded and ready available if we have that available, so that businesses would have a reason to put their money into these developments. The major premises would be life would be more flourishing on an individual level, and on a major scale, humanity would ensure their survival. My minor point is going to be businesses will have more of a reason to invest in technology if there's an actual profitable reason instead of just randomly investing in technology. It'd be more profitable if they had a reason to invest in space, because space is a huge industry that we haven't tapped yet. Conclusion, humanity would be more prosperous colonizing space compared to repairing Earth's environment. Third point is going to be aliens. Michio Kaku also stated that in that same interview that there may be possible to find aliens. He references 3 different types of civilization. 1 being the lowest forms where we're at right now, which we can kind of travel in space. 2 being a kind of Star Trek form, which means they can travel in space, but they haven't solidified their place in space yet. And 3 being more Star Wars, where they've solidified their place in space and do near godlike things, like harnessing power from the sun and such. He says the more we spread out and solidify ourselves in space, we'd be more of a reason to ally ourselves with them, and then they may help us. This is important so then we can possibly progress as a race and as a species. A major point is going to be humanity on an individual scale will be more prosperous, and on a major scale will ensure their survival. And then the minor point is going to be aliens may help us progress, and if there are aliens, we may be able to easier find them. because of the fact we would be spread out. Now, conclusion would be humanity would be more prosperous colonizing space compared to repairing Earth's environment. The fourth point I have is avoiding a nuclear holocaust. I'm referencing Elon Musk's tweets along with Mitchell Kaukau's. The major reason is because colonize space is to avoid us killing ourselves. What I mean by that is humanity has been knocking on the nuclear holocaust for a while, along with global pandemics and these awful apocalyptic scenarios. The reason to colonize space, so we do have a backup plan and ensure human race's survival out in space, make sure it's self-sustaining. The major premise here is going to be life will be more flourishing along with maintaining human race's survival. A minor point will be ensuring human race's survival if we do end up having a nuclear holocaust, which is incredibly likely at this point. And then the conclusion is going to be human race will be more profitable. Human race will be more profitable going out into space and colonizing compared to repairing Earth's atmosphere and environment. I have 4 counterpoints. The first counterpoint is going to be, well, is actual space that practical and is it possible? Yes, it is. We've seen it happen before along with like Apollo missions, but there's a large amount of development. A lot of people putting a lot of money on the line like SpaceX, where a lot of investors are relying on Elon Musk, who's one of the brightest minds we've seen this generation. Therefore, it is highly probable that it is, or else why would Elon Musk even attempt it? Because he would lose money in that case. The second point is going to be, well, it may be possible, but is it being profitable? It would be profitable for many reasons. The main one is there's a lot of money to have in space because of all the minerals and ore out there. And not to mention the technological advancements we could have with the minerals that we find. And the third counterpoint would be, well, technological advancement's cool, but it would happen anyway, wouldn't it? Well, no. If we have space travel, that means there's an actual reason to have these developments. So if self-sustaining fuel will be more valuable in a space environment compared to the Earth environment, because in space you need that as opposed to Earth where you want it. And then the fourth point, we'd find aliens anyway, right? Because they'd still find us because of the radio waves. Well, the further we travel and the further we colonize, the more likely we are to find because they're spread out on a larger area. And then my conclusion is going to be, human race would be more profitable colonizing space compared to repairing Earth's environment here. This is due to the fact that we could find aliens possibly, we'd have better technological advancements at a faster rate, also avoiding nuclear holocausts, and avoiding overpopulation and resource issues. Many reputable people have put their lives on the line to ensure this reality will happen, and I trust them as should you. Thank you, have a wonderful day.